Hello guys, welcome to weekly outlook here on the DXY, Pound USD and Gold. And starting from the daily time frame here on the DXY, we're seeing what happened last week. We saw price take a move all the way to 105 regions and then closed back almost around where it's opened from, which was around 104 region. And looking at the more like the structure we're looking at right now, it seems that we might be having something like a double top kind of formation here on the daily time frame. More or less, we might get price to continue to the downside going forward, especially with what we can see from the 4 hours time frame here. We're seeing price holding off a strong support region here on the 104. If we can streamline this a little bit. So we are looking at these regions of 104 as a strong support for now, and a resistance created here on the 105 region, more like a double top. So we saw in the past price came all the way to make a low here and came back here for more like a retest, and now we're looking at something like a double top formation. So what are we expecting going forward in the coming weeks? This is what I'm looking out for. It's possible that price might still just come all the way here and blow up this 105 and continue to the upside. So we're going to put that into perspective as well. But for the coming week, I might be anticipating price to break 104 region here. I'll be very comfortable for that. And then a retest of that region. And then we can continue to probably come retest this downward trend line, and then maybe bouncing it off from this little support of 103. Okay, if we get that, then we might get a pullback again, either to this region or just to the new low that might be created after the break of this support neckline. Whichever way, you can just use this, and then maybe see price come break below the upward trend line, a retest or something like that, and then we might see price come all the way to 102.65 and so on. If there's enough liquidity or volatility this coming week, then we might see price come all the way to break 102.50 regions, and then we might start heading to the downside. Okay, let's look at that on the daily time frame. So more or less, we might see price do something like this, but that would be a whole lot of candles. But we might see price maybe trade a little bit around this region, so 103, 104 and 103 for the week. But other than that, if price might consolidate around here, no trade for me for that in that case, except we'll have good structures of bouncing around here and here. And lastly, then we might just see price, if price breaks above this region one more time or comes to this region and breaks it, then we might see a break retest and then price coming all the way to 106. So break of 105, we might retest it, and then we'll see price come all the way to 106 regions or 105.90. So that's that for the DXY. If that's the case, coming over to Pound USD, from the daily time frame here, we could see there was a fake out last week, and this happens a lot. And I've seen this in the market where a situation whereby we see this fake out, price comes back into this region, and it looks like we might start trading to the upside, which would now confirm the possibility that price would trade to the downside here on the DXY. So back to the Pound USD, if I slow down to the 4 hours time frame, we might see something like an inverse head and shoulder pattern already created. So I'll come over here to label this region here as the other first shoulder, and here might be our second shoulder, and here will be the head. Okay, so if we see that as our inverse head and shoulder pattern, then we might be considering a situation whereby price breaks the neckline. So I'll be anticipating price to break this region, retest that region, a good regions to buy around here and here, and we might see price come all the way to 1.28 region. Okay, 1.28. Okay, 1.28 and even above, because see I stopped at 1.28 region because we've seen it was held up in the previous as a very strong resistant region. So maybe if there's enough volatility, a break of that region, then we might now see price come all the way to 128.90, the previous highs that would make here on Pound USD. Okay, Lastly, I always consider the opposite in case it decides to happen. So on the 8 hours time frame here, I would be looking if price to come break back this region. I'll be confident to start looking for sell opportunity if price breaks 125.40, or let's call it 125.50. Give me a good structure there, and then I might look for price to come finally break 125. The best way to sell is price breaking 125. It's a very strong psychological level. If price break 125, then be rest assured we're going down and down all the way to 124 and 123 regions. Okay. Well, I'm counting probably more on the buy side for pound USD. This fake out really gives some kind of heads up, and then this rejection last week after the non-farm payroll. So we might actually just consider a possible continuation of buy coming this week. Even at market open, we might just see price just skyrocket to the upside. Then we might get a pullback during the London session, and then we'll continue to the upside. New York session might also support that. So let's see how that goes for pound USD. Let's put that on 4 hours time frame and leave that there. Okay. So basically this is it. All right, now let's head on to gold. Gold has been skyrocketing to the upside, continuously creating new highs, and just more like higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So it's a very good trending market, but it doesn't seem to give me the kind of structures I like for entries. And honestly speaking, I don't usually look at gold often as I look at pound USD. Okay. Well, going forward, I usually say I would try to trade gold. So, but looking at this, this particular setup right now, we've seen price keep making high, and we are right now at 23.35 regions. It's possible to actually get a pullback. Okay, the minimum pullback will be anticipating the price to come back to retest this cycle level now, which is 23.00, and then continue to the upside. It's as simple as that. But I might be considering some good sell positions if we start creating more like, if price start holding up to create like a new structure like double top here or inverse head and shoulder pattern, then we might be looking for sales. But confidently to sell is when price breaks to 22.52. A retest of that, we might see price come all the way to 22.20. Depending on the volatility, we might continue to the downside, but from these regions, we might consider, buy levels. Oh, sorry. Let me take that off. So more or less, this is the first. If price pulls back, we might get a buy level here. We might get another buy level here. And if price breaks below this, then you get to understand we might trade around here and then continue to the upside. So this is that for gold. Let's see how price will play out this week. And thank you so much for good opportunities to bag some pips this week. I hope you bag some pips as well. Enjoy the rest of the week, and ciao.